Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Yummi, and I'll be facing off against the Teemo adventure from the Spirit Blossom campaign. I figured Yummi would be very good in this adventure because of how quickly we can close out games with her. I think we will do particularly well against some of the earlier encounters that don't really have a lot of mechanics that dissuade us from killing them in one or two turns. So yeah, I'm just running the normal Yumi setup with a bunch of keywords, so whatever we put Yumi on can attack twice with Scout and just survive with the other keywords. Counterfeit production, all skill, duelist. All of these are horrible. Let's reroll. Early bird, bouncing blades, rush them down. Early bird will summon the... not the quick will. The Yordle Squire? Yeah, it will summon the Yordle Squire. And we won't get the effect off of the Yordle Squire. So I think we're better off rerolling again, hoping for something better. Boarding party, endurance, the best defense. Endurance or best defense? I think we'll take the best defense. Helps keep our unit nice and healthy once we reach higher attack thresholds. It might be relevant, but even then, I don't think not having a power is going to matter in the long run because of how strong Yumi is on her own. Yeah, let's skip this hand. It's fine. I intend to go for Yumi on the first turn anyway. So a 9/9, but I go ahead and attach Yumi here. All of a sudden I have a 6/4. I can use 2 kills at 9/9. Well, there goes my unit. A bit annoying, but it's fine. Next turn, or on the next attacking turn, I'll be able to close out the game, hopefully. And that's just going to be our game plan for most of these encounters. Tiny spear. Let's hope the opponent plays something else so I can go ahead and give barrier to this Yordle Squire. And then we can drop down just another unit to help trade into the opponent's stuff. Now ideally I would develop a unit this turn, probably the Mountain Goat, and then I would attach something to it. I'll do so after attacking with the Poro to proc the Yumi level up. No attacks, really? That's an interesting decision from the opponent. I feel that just seals his fate, right? Actually no, he survives with 3 health. That's unfortunate. This game is actually going on for longer than I anticipated. I figured Yumi would just blaze through most encounters, killing the opponent in 2 turns. Maybe I have to go ahead and make it so we have increased stats on our Yumi, so we can kill the opponents easier. Our power definitely doesn't help with lethality too. So there's definitely room for improvement. Also, I took way too much damage here. The opponent, really, one last point of damage to me, to my Nexus before I close out the game. Unfortunate. How much regeneration do I even have on Yumi? Only 4. Though I can't really afford to take that much damage. Crescent Guardian, Shadow Totem, I guess. Just because I don't want to spend more rerolls there, and I have no better options. Darius, Lissandra, Zera. Darius is interesting by giving us something to do in the later stages of the game. But I feel like I want more aggression. So getting a champion that could play Yumi onto on the first turn would be huge. Let's reroll once. Soraka, Azir, Shen. Soraka is interesting in the sense that we can potentially close out the game without triggering the last phase, or we can potentially close out the game on the last encounter without even triggering the second phase. But Shen has Spirit's Refuge, and Spirit's Refuge is a very good card because it gives us a lot of longevity with the lifesteal. I'm picking up Shen, even though I won't be able to play Yumi on him. To play in the full 3 decks, nah. Rekindler, Gold Chest. I have the spare money, so let's buy the extra revive. And here I think I have to go for the explosive encounter, just because I want the landmark on board at the start of the game, and because in the other encounter my game plan is significantly delayed because the units I target with my attach units end up going to sleep. I just have to hope that the opponent doesn't kill me too quickly.
Where'd we end up this time, Book?
Numb summoned or you destroy me, stun the strongest enemy. That's unfortunate. And my board space is...
Now where did I leave that beaker?
I'm having trouble with the board space because of that. And the opponent is destroying my own landmarks. So this way I take more damage. How annoying. Let's try to block here. And I'll do this here just to protect my Nimble Poro. I take 3. And I'm going to take an additional 10 next turn. I could really use the spell that gives me healing right about now. What's it called? The 4-mana one. You know what I'm talking about. Let's just do this to fill up my board so that the opponent can't summon any more landmarks. Yeah, like that. Now I can work on clearing the opponent's board. Like this. And all I have to do is ensure that I have a full board at all times so that the opponent can't summon any more landmarks to my side of the board. Also, I need to go ahead and make it so I don't take more damage from the buff caps, but that's easier said than done.
You got authorization for that thing, Gummy?
It probably kills the Poro here. Or not. I actually do have to kill the Poro myself just to prevent that 3 damage. But it's fine, I can just drop down the Yordle Square to replace him on board. So we stay with a full board. There's the Shen. I could really use the Spirit's Refuge right about now. I suppose we're going into the next encounter with only 11 health remaining. It's fine. The worst is behind us, right? Actually, we're probably wrong. This adventure actually gets harder the longer it goes on. Unlike some of the previous ones. Petals of Fate. Without it having predicted, it makes this a bit worse because now we can't choose what gets the epic item, but it's still a 0 mana draw 1 worst case scenario, so maybe it's fine, even though digging through our deck is not really ideal because it means we end up getting closer to hitting puff cap. Pick an allied follower, create an ephemeral copy of it in hand. Nah. When you summon an ally or an ally dies, guarantee each of its positive keywords to 3 allies in your deck. That might actually be relevant. If we can get a nice chain of keywords going, we can potentially create a unit that has a bunch of keywords and that helps close out the game. Hopefully, at least. Sure. I'm keeping the human and the mountain goat and the quick quill. There's the Spirit's Refuge. Let's hope I am not forced to use this early. And I can actually go for it at an opportune moment for me. Let's play Yummi here. Hope the opponent doesn't play dance. Oh, of course. Why wouldn't the opponent have the Defiant Dance turn 1? Not only does it significantly delay my game plan, but it might actually cause me to lose here. Especially if the opponent just summons the units off of the nightmares.
The eye of twilight sees all.
Okay, the opponent got extremely lucky and I got extremely unlucky. That's all it is. I don't think that there was any way I could have won that game after that. I would have needed to not play Yummi turn 1. But even then, our entire deck is based around playing Yummi turn 1. Well, we did have the extra revive, so we can actually afford to lose once or twice. Actually twice. Let's toss everything. Actually, I'll keep the quick quill and the Yordle Squire. Maybe I'll go for Yummi on Shen, depending on what Poros I get here. Let's pass priority to the opponent, see what he does. Well, now we can no longer go for the recall, so that's nice. I'll take the 5, sure. Now that I have an extra billion health. I'm in a decent position to play around with it. Let's try to go ahead and clear the board as much as possible. Of course, the opponent chooses not to trade anything in to the Nimble Poro. And the opponent hits an elusive yet again.
Everything's better with company.
At least he didn't hit 2 units off of the Nightmares, like the last time. Let's try to develop a board that can block into the opponent's stuff.
They cannot hide.
We're blocking here. I suppose we're blocking here and taking the 19. But it's annoying to do so, because I'm going to take a billion damage here. Well, at least I have the Spirit's Refuge for the next turn. I'll save some spell mana for it as well. Ouch. We burned the second copy of the Spirit's Refuge. Not ideal, but at the very least we can heal ourselves by a bit by doing this.
Let's find a new best friend.
We heal 40. And now our unit has spell shield, so we don't have to worry about it getting bounced back to our hand. It's okay. Let's do this.
So shiny, it's gotta be way strong.
Try to remove as many elusives as possible.
We play on.
We also restore ourselves back up to 40, which is important. I don't want to lose yet again. I can actually go for the mini-morph there to spare ourselves this 6 damage.
All in the shoulders.
This is a fine block, I guess. The opponent's not attacking the Vayne, really. Interesting decision. Right. The swap effect. Completely forgot about that.
Stop, fatties.
Well, that might have screwed us by making it so we have to take the 6 damage anyway. Well, at least we're closing out the game next turn. Just do this, deal 10 to the opponent,
A tune of
then I'll drop down the Shen,
eye of twilight sees all.
play a gem here. Go for the Yordle Square, play a gem on that Yordle Square too. And now
Enforced
we
equilibrium.
try to end the game.
Our wills align.
And the opponent survives, of course. It's fine. I mean, what are the odds the opponent kills me this turn?
Give me grace enough to mask my doubts.
Please stop playing cards. This run is definitely not going as well as I anticipated.
The dark beckons.
Well, at least we have a elusive blocker. Never mind, we don't. We no longer have an elusive blocker because the opponent recalled my unit. It's okay, I'll just replay the Rainbow Fish on something else. I'll do it on the Poro generated off of the Fae. Nothing? Perfect. Now please let me close out the game, opponent. I'm going to attack first with this Poro because it has Scout. Ooh. One revive and an entire game's length too much in my opinion. Nimble Poro, Bright Staff. I guess. Just because it can be generated because of our powers, so it's fine-ish to take it. Give an ally +1/+1 this round, increase the buff by +1/+1 for each other time you've cast this game. Not really that great. Top of faster spell, slow spell or skill that costs 3 or less. Man, in a different situation, all of these might have been decent. Maybe I just take the practice makes perfect because it's a burst speed with something barrier for 2 mana, worst case scenario. And then for the card cut, the Petals of Fate has been sitting in my hand doing nothing. But I don't think it's that great, or I don't think it's the worst card in my deck. I think the worst card is definitely the Stone Stackers. Yeah, let's get the Stone Stackers. Charm or spellcasting. Let's go for the Fox Spirit yet again. And I'll just avoid casting spells.
Shall we go together then? Shall
Or
we go together?
avoid casting too many spells. That's a Yumi, that's fine. I'll keep the Spirit's Refuge. Yeah, this is a fine keep. I'll save the spells for a turn where I know I can kill the opponent, or for when I can go ahead and use them to block the opponent's stuff. Him getting a sign-in might not be so bad, because it ended up making him overdraw cards. Summon a 3/3 Fox. Challenging. Well, at least my unit has barrier, so it's fine. And I can do this. Ooh, him playing that is huge as 2, because now I can kill 2 units for the price of 1. Normally I would have had to pull the sign in and set the Lonely Poro to 1, which should have been bad.
Tales of our past are seeds for our future.
Let's go for the Yordle Squire, try to develop something that can block. Have to do this, give the opponent a 3/3, unfortunately. All because I need to block here and here. I'm taking a bunch of damage and the opponent's going to refill his spell mana. I have the Spirit's Refuge. Let's drop down the Mountain Goat. I'm going to save that for the next turn. Let's develop a 1-drop. He's going to try and kill my Jubilant Poro, but it's fine. I'm going to use 1 Spirit's Refuge here. It saves my Jubilant Poro. And he shuffles an Ahri back to the deck. It's important. Let's try to remove the highest attack elusives first. While also restoring our health in the process. We can also do this, pull here, I suppose. Most the opponent's stuff dies to my units. He chooses to protect the sign-in. Sure, I guess. Here I think I can develop Shen safely. Never mind, the opponent got a full board yet again. Need to protect my health total as much as possible. Let's give that unit barrier.
Like too slow.
Going to go ahead and use the practice makes perfect to give this barrier too. And now we go ahead and block the highest attack units that I can. Unfortunately, I can't block Ahri because she has elusive. And he ordered that very well. Now the essence thief dealt 5 damage. I'm just going to go ahead and use the practice makes perfect. Get a card out of hand because I'm going to overdraw otherwise. Let's attack first with the Poro. Use our scout. Remove the Ahri. I want to get Shen down, I think. He's challenging Shen. Okay. He is buffing his board by a lot by doing that though. But maybe this helps me close out the game. He can only block one elusive. So if I create another elusive... No, it's still not enough. I guess I have to try and close out the game for a different method then. I have an elusive, so I can block that next turn. So I should pull the opponent's units. Try to remove the opponent's board as best as I can. I have the Spirit's Refuge just in case. And I do have other ways to give my units barrier if need be. Let's drop down another Nimble Poro. Another Seinen. Not fine, but I'll manage.
Our wills align.
39 damage. Block here, block here, block here, and block here. This goes up to 7, yep. I guess we're doing this. It generates a Foxfire, but it protects my unit too. And that Foxfire isn't going to get to attack. So I only have to worry about taking the 6 here. And now I only have to worry about dying to the Puff Caps. Which I don't have enough Puff Caps in my deck to kill me, so it's fine. And now I can go back up to full with the Spirit's Refuge. Unless the opponent recalls my unit. Okay, now he's trying to remove one of my units instead. He will be able to do so, but it's not going to matter. My unit got double attack too, so it even dealt more damage than I anticipated. Okay, the games are being way too close. Heavy hands on Yumi. I'm definitely not going to pass on that. It's going to increase my lethality by a whole bunch. Collect your bounty. Yep, it accelerates our game plan. And now, round start, the foe charms a random ally. I can't afford to lose my Yumi to a random charm, so I have to reroll here if I want to get a legendary power. The foe summons a 20 Sinister Poro. Well, do we want to challenge ourselves? Yeah, sure. 20 Sinister Poro it is. Top or bottom? Let's go for the top path. I feel like it will be easier to deal with the 20 if I can pull it with Yumi or a unit that has barrier every once in a while. Or I can just mini-morph it, that helps too. Does the opponent start with removal? I don't know actually. Let's pass and see what the opponent does. Okay, there's no way he can remove my Yumi for 2 mana.
I'm ready to
Let's
play,
go for
bop, and
this.
knock over some cookies.
Let's work on clearing those units. Right. Cost reduction on my units. Or on my cards when I deal damage to the opponent's nexus. That means I can actually go for this as well. Further deal more damage to the opponent's nexus. And all I have to worry about is the 30-30 and the tasty fairy folks.
Looks like I'm ready.
I would like it if you would let me play a second card after this one, opponent. Perfect. The Crescent Guardians are going to be excellent jump blockers.
Walking is strange.
The opponent's going to heal a bunch though. "23 health. But I can do this. I'm going to take 23 damage then, right? I want to lose my entire board. I have to do this, otherwise I take even more damage though.
I grow back.
It's annoying though. Ouch. I'm desperately needing the what's it called? The Spirit's Refuge. Rejuvenating Breeze. That's fine, I'm going to deal a bunch of damage to you this turn. So I don't have to worry about anything.
Time to turn the page, book.
Ooh, the Yordle Squire has a bunch of keywords on it. Lucky. Let it mini morph that thing. Let's drop down a mountain goat. We're going to pull here. Going to attack this, and we're going to generate the or guarantee the generation of a gem, and that the mountain goat sticks around. Okay, we're in a great position, I think. Oh, and we even drew the Spirit's Refuge.
Purple.
That means we can probably heal back up to full next turn. Let's Spirit's Refuge the Poro that has Yumi on it. We're going to pull the opponent's largest unit so that we don't deal too much damage to his nexus. So we can go for 2 attacks just in case the first one would kill him otherwise. And this way we regenerate a bunch of health. It would actually be nice to get a way to deal 1 damage to the opponent's nexus every turn, so that way we can make use of our cost reduction power even on the opponent's attacking turn. Quick Strike Blade, Regeneration, Serrated Dark. More keywords. I guess we're going to get more Rainbow Fishes. They're probably better. And now we have an even bigger buffer to our health bar. Let's hope that we fare well against this opponent. I still haven't figured out how the opponent rallied on the first time we fought against him. Let's try to mulligan for stuff that allows us to protect our units. That's unlucky, but at the very least we won't have it filling up a board space at the start of the game. The opponent starts with a massive board though. Let's put Yumi on the Sinister Poro. It's probably better to do so on the highest attack unit so we can try and
New adventure.
clear some of the opponent's stuff. Right?
Heard you're new in the area.
That's a waste from the opponent.
We don't want any trouble.
Now I can go ahead and give something elusive. Let's give the unit with Challenger elusive, not because of the elusive in and of itself, but because I want to safely pull some of these elusive units. Okay, we've established dominance over the opponent on board. I was about to say so we should be fine, but never mind, the opponent developed another full board, just like that.
Defensive stance.
We can still kind of survive here. We just have to auto protect our units here. We just have to do this. And I want to keep that on board too, so we're doing this. We sort of preserve most of our board. And we deal with 3 of the opponent's units. So it's not the worst thing in the world. But we are in desperate need of spells to play on our units to give them barrier.
Heard you're new in the area.
This is going to be a longer game, definitely. That's fine. I'm actually going to drop down the Void Gate here. Try to make use of all of the trading. And that was a mistake. That rallies. Will of Ionia rallies. Okay, so I figured out what caused the opponent to rally last time around. Good to know.
Play, bop, and knock over some cups.
My friends.
Well, fortunately the opponent didn't
My heart.
want to use his rally
Hopes were as high as the
this
grass.
time. Let's try to get rid of the largest unit, sure. No attacks, really. Let's give one of our another one of our units barrier. Try to protect against the opponent's attack. Nothing. I guess then we're attacking like so. Yeah, this is a fine attack. We take a bit of damage on the unit that has the Yummi. But we're keeping the opponent's board clear. And we're dealing with all of his shenanigans as best as we can. The unit with the Yummi is probably dying here. Because I have no way to give it barrier. And it's just going to pull with the very long tail. Maybe not. Maybe the opponent decides to pull the largest unit with the very long tail instead.
You're not a hero, right?
Let's try to block as much damage as we can. I think we can definitely close out the game next turn, even if we end up taking that much damage here.
My friend and I are toll collectors.
Next turn I Tiny Spear the Sinister Poro, definitely. Do I want to play Shen too? I can go for everything actually. So let's drop down Shen first, maybe we bait something out of the opponent. No? Okay. Then we're giving the Sinister Poro barrier and pulling the largest unit.
Let's find a new best friend.
Now we can go ahead and play the Rainbow Fish on something. We'll do it on Shen, since Shen shares these keywords.
So I go.
Then we go ahead and attack with everything. We only have to worry about the elusives, because most of my units are elusive anyway. So that removes one elusive blocker. And that removes another elusive blocker. So this is lethal, unless the opponent does something for 4 mana.
Balance has been maintained.
Okay, it doesn't do anything for 4 mana. Ooh, that was a lot closer than I wanted. The opponent kept getting stuff out of the nightmares. That was definitely what messed me up the most. Cheap Spirit's Refuge and more copies of it, not passing that up. Not in a million years. Shop, I guess we have $1 billion money to spend. Yoink might be fine to generate blockers at burst speed. Hold them off is definitely good, so we're buying it. Back to back for 4 mana gives something, two things in fact, barrier for 4 mana. It might even be better than back to back or than Yoink. I'm going to go for the back to back. It might be relevant. And then I think that's it. Let's not pick up Yoink. I feel like it might dilute our deck. Got the Key Guardian. I haven't played it a single time this entire game. Or this entire campaign. Adventure. Just because it's just a draw card most of the time. And I don't really want to draw cards. I guess we are as ready as we'll ever be for this encounter. We have to survive this first turn. And then afterwards we can probably stabilize. I'm keeping the Spirit's Refuge and Yumi. I'm tossing everything else because I want hopefully something that I can play to give my Tuporos barrier. And that's not Yumi. Because I don't want to use Yumi right away. Though I might be forced to do so. Rainbow Fish. Let's hope that the opponent doesn't have a free attack here.
I'll cut the base me.
He doesn't. Or at least it appears he doesn't. He has a free attack. I'll take the 8. Whatever. It draws 1, it's annoying. But it could be worse. Let's drop down the Yumi. The opponent just stuns the Yumi though. I have to bait him with something. Maybe I can pass the turn and the opponent does that. I'm not pleased, but I have to do this in order to save my Poro. He's probably going to stun the Destined Poro though, if I do this. Or not. Maybe the opponent is an idiot and just doesn't want to play the Guile. If that's the case, I want Crescent Guardian. It's a free Crescent Guardian, so might as well, right? And then we attack with everything. Pull one of the Glory Seekers. Sure. The opponent blocks with the Atakan. Atakan is just going to be permanently frostbitten. Well, at least until he gets a lower health total than the Triferian Glory Seeker. So we're okay on that front.
My plan is in motion.
Let's give this the barrier keyword and kill the Triferian Glory Seeker. That was a weak turn by the opponent. You could have played that first before attacking, but sure, do whatever you want. I won't question it. Let's attack with the Poro, remove something.
We're gonna find our Yordle book.
This game is definitely going on for a while, not usual for last encounters. Let's play the Shen, start developing, or start working towards this level up.
Immediately.
This actually works very well to level up Shen, in fact. In fact, this might be enough to close out the game. Let's give Shen Overwhelm. I feel like that will be fun. Especially considering Shen shares these keywords.
I find
We
them.
do this, we attack like so. Let's pull the only unit that can block.
Our wills align.
And now we have triggered the second phase. Does the opponent have anything that can impact the board in a meaningful way here? Ooh, Exalted Poro got lifesteal. That's important.
Practice makes perfect.
We're going to need to deal with this soon. And we need to keep ourselves healthy until we do so. Actually, we can just mini-morph it. In fact, that's what I'm going to do, just insta-mini-morph the Ava Achiever. I don't want it proccing and dealing more damage than it needs to. Let's also get rid of Revlin right away.
One last kiss.
Then we attack
I sense an
again.
imbalance.
Let's attack like this with the only unit that doesn't get that doesn't have elusive, so this way it's protected. He actually just gives up. Okay. Okay, that was a very good challenge. It was very satisfactory to go through every encounter not knowing if I am actually going to be able to achieve victory or if I'm going to die from the opponent high rolling like I did on the third encounter or something along those lines. So I really liked how that run went. So yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.